Hey there, welcome. Today I wanted to talk about how there are infinite virtues. There are infinite things to get better at, to perfect, and how this interconnects with slowing down and lowering our expectations. Um, I find intentions and expectations are very similar, they're very connected. And so when I was meditating upon intention in the last couple videos, it brought me to expectations and it brought me to all the things that we need to do to make this place better, to make our body better, to make our mind better, to make our ephemeral, fleeting experience better. There are virtues such as hospitality, generosity, kindness, persistence, perseverance, courage, creating beauty, doing things for others, loving when others are having a good time and are successful, sharing their joy, giving joy to others, empathizing with pain and listening and being there for people in pain, not causing other beings harm, making sure other people have what they need to survive, telling the truth, uh, they're not being angry, not being jealous, not creating comparisons and excessive competition, not consuming too much. The list goes on forever. It literally just goes on forever. I don't know how to summarize them all or do them all, but life is going to show us what to work on. The infinite universe in all its amazing, brilliant intelligence is already making sure everyone gets little seeds planted, everyone gets a little taste of the things that they need to work on in order to realize their true self, to realize love. And this happens basically endlessly, as we are endless. There's no conclusion in sight. There's no like, yes, I did these 5 virtues, I'm done. There's always something else. There's always another thing. And this is actually a limitation I find with, different philosophical practices and religious practices, is that there's a handful of good things to focus on, virtues, positive habits, but then it's almost like too rigid, just like too focused on those things. And then if something else isn't considered, it's not in the practice, we don't care about it. We make justifications, The big one is diet, we'll focus on not harming other beings and being kind and truthful. But then, oh no, this won't apply to food and like where food comes from and the beings in the land that are hurt through food. Uh, this is very common, like, skip of the mind, seeing not the whole picture. It's also can happen with like, oh, we focus on these ways of feeling and intending, but then maybe we don't treat others well, or maybe we don't allow ourselves to expand in ways that actually help other people. And it never ends. There's always another thing to work on. Perfection is constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly transforming. And the world is slow. So we can't expect things to happen all instantly, to us to be great at all of these virtues. There's a patience and a persistence that it requires. And we must lower our expectations for a few reasons. One, our mind is able to imagine things so much quicker and grander than the physical reality that we attach to allows for. Another is that we're actually battling each other all the time. Everyone else has expectations. Everyone else has desires and intentions for a future, and those might not jive with our goal to live a virtuous life in a variety of ways. And so we are constantly pulling and pushing on one another with our expectations and our intentions. And what happens is that they conflict, and this can make us fail our expectation. It can make us fail our virtue, our practice. But we have to try again. We have to be patient, be slow, and create realistic expectations, realistic goals. And it's important to see that the infinite virtues are not just abstract kind of mental positions. They are very much action-based as well. They're very much integral to the world, building houses for the homeless, feeding people that are hungry, taking action against corruption. These are all part of the virtues too. And so slowly engaging with everyone that the universe, that God, that the infinite presents to us is how we love ourselves, is how we realize truth. Because we can't reject the infinite and then expect to know ourselves. But that's not easy. We have a lot of things we're dancing with in life, a lot of conflicting patterns, both in ourselves that we've learned and conditioned, and also in what the world throws at us, what other people are experiencing and doing. So all that to just say, enjoy the constant growth, the slow, constant build-up of a good life. And you don't need to expect some Buddha image. You don't need to expect some, influencer level success in life. Expect low things that can constantly increase and grow in a very gentle manner, and expect it to be slow. Just be patient, because it is. It isn't so fast as our mind can think of. Thank you so much for watching. Om Sai Ram.